Hi, and welcome back. I'm John Dawson. So, how much is enough? That's one of those questions that sounds simple until you actually try to answer it. For us, it started as a spreadsheet. We calculated our cost of living down to the dollar, mortgage, insurance, food, travel, healthcare, everything. Then we asked a very straightforward question: how much net monthly cash flow would we need for our lives to continue without a paycheck? Once our passive income consistently exceeded that number, we knew we were close. But close isn't enough. So we ran an experiment. For 3 years, while I was still working at my final employer, we didn't live on a single penny of my salary. Every paycheck went into a completely separate bank account. We didn't touch it. We used it to reduce leverage and strengthen the balance sheet, but we lived entirely off the passive income. That was the test. If we could sustain our lifestyle without earned income, month after month, year after year, then the math would eventually become undeniable. And it did. After 3 years, the data was clear. The income held steady. Expenses were predictable. The trend line was durable. And that's when we knew we could walk away. But here's the part people don't talk about. The math being undeniable doesn't automatically make you calm. I'm not naturally a calm person. I've been wired my whole life to prepare. Plan A, Plan B, and Plan C for good measure. As a kid in Scouts, the motto was, be prepared. And that phrase never left me. It's hard to unthink that way. And even now, even with real margin, there's a part of me that scans the horizon for what could go wrong. So when people ask, how much is enough? I understand the impulse behind the question. They want a number. But for me, the number was only the starting point. The deeper question was, when do you stop optimizing? There's always more upside available. You can always earn another year of income. You can always acquire another asset. You can always increase the buffer. I heard a story once about Rockefeller being asked how much money is enough. His answer was, just one more dollar. That's not some villainous kind of greed. That's appetite. And appetite, you see, it has no natural stopping point. If you build your identity around accumulation, enough will always move. What about ego? Did ego ever play a role? Of course it did. It always feels good to hit a goal that once felt ambitious. There's a quiet satisfaction in being able to say, we did what we set out to do. I won't pretend that doesn't matter. But here's what's interesting. Once the goal was reached, the emotional high was brief. It didn't fundamentally change how we lived. It didn't make ordinary days feel more meaningful. It didn't make relationships richer. It just marked the completion of a chapter. And that's when something shifted for me. Achievement has momentum. It pulls you forward. Once you've proven you can do something hard, there's always another version of hard waiting. A bigger target, a larger buffer, a cleaner balance sheet, another optimization. But eventually you have to ask, is this still about security, or has it become about identity? For us, the original goal was clear and finite. We weren't trying to build something infinite. We were just trying to build enough. And once the system proved itself over multiple years, continuing to accumulate would not have made us meaningfully safer. It would have simply extended the game. I remember sitting in a meeting with one of our business advisors after we hit our original financial goal. We asked him, okay, well, what should we do next? Without hesitation, he said, almost enthusiastically, do it again. We looked at each other and laughed. No thanks, we said. We're good where we are. And that moment stuck with me because the default answer in our culture is always expansion. Bigger, more, repeat the playbook, scale it, optimize it again. But we weren't trying to win an infinite game. We were just trying to reach sufficiency. And here's the part that matters the most to me. Even if everything we built disappeared tomorrow, I believe we would still be okay. Not financially comfortable maybe, but content. Years of living simply, years of outdoor life, years of learning to be satisfied with very little, those experiences formed something deeper than a portfolio. They formed resilience. And I've always believed that being content with little is a form of strength. If you can sit in a quiet room with nothing spectacular happening and still feel gratitude, then abundance stops owning you. It becomes a tool, not a master. And that realization is what finally pushed me over the line. We had the margin, the math was clear. The experiment had run for 3 years. At some point, continuing to optimize would have been more about habit than necessity. There's always another dollar to chase. There's always another layer of protection to add. But if you build your life around chasing the next increment, enough will never arrive. For us, enough arrived when the math said yes and our values agreed. And even if our income fluctuated, even if markets shifted or plans had to adjust, we would be fine. We've built margin, and more importantly, we've built perspective. And I don't think the answer to enough is found in a percentage. I think it's found in gratitude. Life itself is the gift. The years you're given, the people around you, the ordinary Tuesdays. And if you can't feel that with what you have now, another dollar probably won't fix it. So how much is enough? For us, it was when the numbers made sense and our hearts were aligned. And when that happened, it wasn't loud, it just felt clear. If this resonates with you, I'd love to hear how you think about enough. Drop a note in the comments below. Is it a number for you, a feeling, a moving target? And as always, thank you for tuning in to John Dawson Retirement.